Hi, welcome to Metropolis. I'm Jody from Prism Sound, and we're privileged to be here today. We want to take you on a tour of the studios and find out some interesting facts about the facility and hopefully some interesting anecdotes. But initially, what we're going to do is we're going to have a chat with Emma and Paul from Metropolis up in the bar. So come and join me. As I said downstairs, we're here with Emma from Metropolis Studios. She's the head of the studios, so thanks for having us here today. It's much appreciated.
Very welcome.
Can you tell us a bit about what your role entails?
What doesn't it entail? So I guess I manage the commercial studios here. There's a lot of day-to-day booking of studios, managing of the engineers, and organising the sessions.
How long have you been at Metropolis now?
I've been here for about a year and a half now.
Right. And what is it that makes Metropolis special?
The historic albums that have been made here. The building is beautiful. One of the reasons I love coming to work here every day is walking into the building and just going, wow, I work here.
So obviously Metropolis has had many legendary artists here. So can you tell us about some of the iconic albums that have been recorded here?
So we've a few iconic albums we've had here. So the Queen Innuendo is an obvious one. Amy Winehouse, Back to Black, that was recorded here. Adele has done a couple of albums here. Yes, we've had quite a few.
Well, thanks ever so much for your time. Much appreciate it. Have a great day, and thanks again.
Thank you very much.
So, here we are, Studio E at Metropolis, and I'm here with Paul. So, tell us about your role here at Metropolis.
So I'm the chief engineer here, which basically means, as well as my normal engineering role, I sort of oversee and help with the technical side of things and working out how we're going to move Metropolis forward and keep us up to date, basically.
What is special about Studio E here at Metropolis?
I guess one of the main features of it is it's 5.1. It's our only 5.1 mixing room. It's also used a lot for vocal sessions as mixing's moved more into the box these days. The session that's in here at the moment has got quite a big setup. People like it because it's quite a big control room, so you can set it up, have everyone in the room, and it's sort of almost like a lounge, and you can just have everything ready to go.
Well, I see you've got an SSL console here and a BB5XBD surround system, as you mentioned. Out of all the stuff in this room, what would you say is your favourite piece of kit?
It's difficult to pick a favourite. The thing I end up coming back to and using the most, I do a lot of vocal sessions here, is the TubeTech compressor.
Right.
It's a CL1A. So yeah, that's probably the thing I use most, and I find that most vocals I record in here, it's what I end up using.
You've touched on vocals. What would you generally is your go-to microphone for recording?
We're lucky to have quite a big collection of microphones here, so if I don't know the singer, we've got a lovely vintage C12, which if you sound bad on it, that's nothing we can do to help you, I'm afraid.
You've obviously worked on a diverse range of projects and diverse material. So, can you tell us about some of the projects that you worked on in this room?
Quite a variety of stuff. Everything from did a mix in here with Andrew Lloyd Webber to recording vocals for the new Little Mix album. Personally, I think the vocal booth in here is the easiest one to work with. Obviously, in the bigger rooms, they're bigger vocal booths, so there can be issues with more ambience on the microphones depending on what else is going on. So it's a really good sounding vocal booth. It's great to have the full length window and like good eye contact with the artist. The full length window, I think, sort of helps people feel like they're involved in the session still.
What is it about the Prism 88s that you find particularly attractive?
I think the thing about the Prisms is that we know that we're going to capture what we want to capture. We've got all this great outboard gear, and we've got vintage Fairchilds and vintage microphones and all that stuff. But it's no good if when you put it into the digital realm, it's not what you're actually capturing. So I think for me, the thing about Prism is just being able to completely trust what I'm hearing and knowing that what I'm recording is what it sounds like.
So I understand you're primarily Pro Tools here. Is that still the case?
Generally, we're all Pro Tools. We do have Logic because a lot of our clients are more used to that. So yeah, we do have Logic, and I have done some tracking in Logic, but I try not to.
Well, thanks for your time here in Studio E. Can we head on over to Studio B?
Cool.
Paul, tell us a little bit about this room.
So yeah, this is Studio B. There's another SSL in here. It's a G series in this room, so it's a bit older than the one we have upstairs. We've got Genelec main monitoring in here, but also we've got the big live room, so we can track bands in here, small choirs, that sort of thing, as well as being used for vocal sessions and mix sessions.
What is it about this room that you particularly like?
I think one of the great things about this room, it's not from a technical perspective, but just from a sort of working with artists perspective, is the fact the lounges behind the control room really helps sort of bring everyone into the session, but allows there to be sort of a space for people to hang out and chill out.
With that in mind, how do you get the best out of people?
Generally, Metropolis overall, not just in this room, recording studios, especially of this size, it's a service industry as much as it is a technical industry. And I think part of the reason a lot of our clients come here is the service we can provide with the way we look after our clients, I think is important as much as having the best mics and the best converters and that sort of thing.
In the last studio, we talked about what your favourite piece of kit was. What's your favourite piece of kit in this room?
At the moment in the corner, we've got the Fairchild, which just makes everything easier. When in the right situation, when you use it, it just does what you need it to do. It just sounds good to me. So,
what is it that you favour about each set of monitors in each environment?
The rooms were designed around the main monitors, and I think having the same main monitoring systems that the rooms were designed with helps. I think you can put other things in there, but you're trying to fit the monitors to the room.
Yep.
It's a fairly diverse room. I think historically it was used by a lot of bands, a lot of indie bands recorded in here. Verve's urban hymns were recorded in this room. In my time being here, the way the industry is working is a bit different to how it used to work. People aren't making albums in the same way, especially in pop music. People aren't going and spending 6 months locked in a studio making an album.
Right.
They're writing songs, and they might come in and record them, and they do writing sessions as well as recording sessions. So I think it's sort of changed the way it's worked. So specifically as album work, it's not quite the same as it was.
How do you maintain the vibe and the context for the album?
For me, it's just always been the way I've worked. So you might not see someone for 6 months, but you have to know the way they work. So it's good you learn those things, and you do see the same artist coming in quite regularly, just at different times and working on different things.
But one of the things that I've noticed is consistent throughout Metropolis is the beautiful racks of prisms that you've got everywhere. Is that something, that consistency, you find reassuring throughout the facility?
Yeah, I think it's reassuring for me, but it's reassuring for clients as well. It's good to have consistency, and also to know that if a project moves from one studio to another, it's going to sound the same. You're not going to get up there and go, this doesn't sound how it sounded downstairs.
Sure. Okay, so we've arrived in the live room of Studio A. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's the biggest live room we have at Metropolis. We've got sort of a dead room over there. There's a much drier sound, and there's a stone room there. A nice room because it's quite varied, and then we've got the Fazioli grand piano. Freddie Mercury is the famous story. Freddie Mercury played on the piano. Very recently, Adele played on it, and it was used in the writing and recording of one of her albums.
Not only is this used as a live room for the studio itself, but you've had a lot of other events here. It's more of you can use it as an intimate concert venue as well.
Yeah, we do sort of a range of different things with live concerts, sort of intimate gigs and showcases, that sort of thing. But we also do a live to vinyl series.
Right.
So literally is a band or an artist playing live, and then it goes straight up a pair of cables into the mastering room, and it's cut to vinyl up there. I think it's important for us to be able to diversify in those ways and have those different revenue streams.
Well, it's an amazing space, and you don't get many studios built on this scale anymore.
No.
So it's a privilege to be here. But thanks for your time today, Paul. Thank you for the tour around the facilities. Thanks a lot. So we've come over to the other side of the building, and we're now in mastering, and we're here with one of the long-time and one of the longest-serving members of the mastering team here at Metropolis, Tony Cousins. Your skill set is the important factor here, but then you put your trust in the products that you combine together to get the best result.
I think that's right, but one of the things that shouldn't be overlooked, like this, Prism was always the one that won out. Because we'd all worked for an analog all our lives, obviously, you know, cutting records or doing whatever. And so, you know, we did these tests. You know, we'd get the Prisms and we'd get another set of converters. From that moment on, it's always been, for me anyway, it's always been Prism. The best project I've worked on in the last month is an album by Shirley Bassey. Sorry, Dame Shirley Bassey. I have to say that. You can't say Shirley Bassey.
Yeah, you've got to clarify that.
It's Dame Shirley Bassey. I mean, she's an amazing singer and she's 83 years old. And it's an incredible record. Really fantastic record.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. We'll let you get on with your work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.